Today on the CTV News at 5, soaring temperatures drive Alberta electricity to an all-time summer high. Plus,
you just do what you can, stay out of it as much as possible, drink lots of water.
What it's like for those who have to work out in the sweltering heat. And CP rail cleanup. Crews work around the clock to clean up a train derailment.
CTV News with Jackie Scantlebury.
Good afternoon. A severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for Lethbridge, Cardston, Fort Macleod and McGrath. Dory Rossiter will be with us in just a few moments and she'll have more. Meanwhile, soaring temperatures drove Alberta's power use to a record summer high yesterday. Albertans used nearly 9,900 megawatts of electricity, and that breaks the old summer record of just over 9,500 megawatts set last July. It happened on the hottest day of the year so far, and the strain of fans and air conditioners on the power grid forced the Alberta Electrical System Operator to try to lower consumption. Rolling outages were enacted, leaving communities in the dark for 30 minutes at a time. Now, Lethbridge's Electrical Operations Department is urging residents to limit the use of dishwashers, washing machines and dryers until at least after 8 p.m. during this hot spell. The city says high temperatures are putting a strain on the provincial power grid. Yesterday afternoon, that resulted, as we said, in a brief capacity overload at the substation providing service to parts of southeast Lethbridge. Staff responded to the outage and had the repair work completed in less than 2 hours. But the city is still asking the public to limit their power use, especially during the peak demand period. That's between 4:30 p.m. and 7 p.m.
I would suggest people be responsible. Shut your drapes in your houses to keep the heat from entering the building. If you're not home, don't have your air conditioning on, don't have your lights on. Try and limit your electrical demand as much as you can. Dishwashers, washing machines, do it at bedtime. Turn a timer on. Let them run when you're asleep.
Your stove and oven are also going to draw a lot of electricity. Residents are being urged to use the microwave, or better yet, the barbecue, during the extended periods of hot weather. Well, as temperatures soar, local workers are really feeling the heat, and not just the ones that work outdoors. It's a hot market for some businesses as well. Alicia Fieldberg reports.
It's 45 degrees behind this asphalt truck, but even the people who are used to working with the heat say it's tough to cool off in 30-degree weather.
Hot, very sweaty, humid's pretty bad out here.
Construction crews putting siding on homes are also trying their best to beat the heat.
You just do what you can, stay out of it as much as possible, drink lots of water.
It's not just high temperatures, humidity's high as well. Weather specialists say that makes it feel about 5 degrees hotter than it actually is. The heat wave's even affecting some people in air-conditioned buildings.
You still work up a sweat trying to keep up with it all because skids and skids of stock just coming out to fill this up.
Business has been hot at Canadian Tire North. As the temperatures rise, so do the sales of fans, air conditioners and pools. The store sold 75% of its stock in these items in the past 2 days and is expecting to sell out before the next shipment arrives.
We've had a heck of a time trying to keep it full. A lot of people coming in just trying to get everything we have. Some people walking away with a couple $1,000s worth of items.
With forecasts in the 30s and high 20s for the next few days, workers who can't escape the heat are keeping their cool with positive attitudes.
Working on my suntan. Just got to think the best of it, push through.
Alicia Fieldberg, CTV News, Lethbridge.
Well, pools, spray parks and area lakes are packed as people try to stay cool. Another popular summertime activity in southern Alberta, swimming or floating down the Oldman River. But if you're doing either, Lethbridge Regional Police say you need to follow the rules. Officers say there are traffic and liquor laws in the river valley. Parking is prohibited along roadways in Indian Battle Park to allow room for emergency vehicles to get through. And it's also illegal to possess or consume liquor in a public place, including the park and on the Oldman River.
If you're consuming alcohol in the water, it's good. The first thing it does, it impairs your judgment. Things that you would not normally do, you tend to think are okay to do. And then in the water, there's no room for mistakes. If you make that mistake, the consequences are often fatal.
Now, police are also reminding anyone who is floating or swimming in the river to wear a life jacket to reduce the risk of drowning. And the fine for illegal parking in Indian Battle Park, $57. Possessing open liquor in public will get you a $230 fine. And drinking alcohol in a public place will cost you $115. Well, Dory Rossiter, a severe thunderstorm warning has come through, but it's probably going to be pretty fast.
Yeah, there's a line of rapidly moving thunder cells just south of Clare's home and just north of Lethbridge, and those are tracking eastwards. So I've already had on Facebook some comments from people. They can hear the thunder on the west side of Lethbridge, and that is due to those thunder cells moving across to the north. But I'll have more details coming up in a couple of minutes.
Thanks, Dory. Well, CP rail crews have been working around the clock to clean up a derailment 35 kilometers southeast of Lethbridge. 9 rail cars loaded with coal left the tracks at a level crossing just north of Sterling. Some of the cars toppled over and debris was scattered over several hundred meters. Now, the mishap occurred around 5 p.m. Monday. Fortunately, no one was injured. A CP Rail spokesman says disruption to service is minimal since it happened on a branch line to Raymond and doesn't affect traffic using the main rail line to the U.S. Many local residents have been stopping to have a look at the wreckage.
We just moved in here 2 months ago, and Sterling is new to us. And in the wide open, we love the train going by, the whistle, and we thought, how on earth could there ever be an accident? And especially right at the intersection here. We just don't know.
The cause of the derailment is still under investigation. CP Rail expects to have the line opened by this evening. It's been 5 years since a stabbing spree in downtown Calgary took the life of Jacqueline Crazy Bull. Police and her family and friends are still looking for who's responsible for the death of the Blood Reserve woman. On July the 11th, 2007, 5 people were randomly attacked and stabbed. At the time, police said a car with 3 or 4 men in it coaxed the victim close enough to attack. Crazy Bull was the only fatality, and her death devastated her family and friends. Earl Thiessen was Crazy Bull's common-law partner, and he says this time of year always weighs heavily on him. Police continue to look for suspects, but they say they do have persons of interest, just not enough information to lay charges or make any arrests.
Our investigation still needs more, and we're coming forward now asking the public for more help. We're not in a position yet where we can lay a charge, but we're hoping soon to be there.
It's senseless. There won't be closure because it's always there because of the way she was taken, and it was just a senseless murder, right?
Police say their hearts go out to the families and victims of violent crime, especially homicides, and it's important to bring them closer to their loved ones. Anyone with information on the Blood Reserve woman's death is asked to contact Crime Stoppers. And 3 people are facing charges after a robbery outside a West Lethbridge business. Happened around 11 o'clock last night in the Safeway parking lot on University Drive. A 49-year-old woman was loading groceries into her vehicle when a minivan pulled up beside her. A woman got out of the van and then tried to take the woman's purse. The two got into a struggle, and then another woman jumped out of the van and assaulted the victim. 24-year-old Christy Lee Stoats of Lethbridge and 28-year-old Amanda Farlett of Tabor are charged with robbery, while 49-year-old Olivia Anderson, also of Tabor, is charged with robbery and dangerous driving. Well, Medicine Hat police are dealing with a rather unusual robbery. About $2,000 worth of recycled bottles have been stolen from the Paradise Valley golf course. This man was caught on surveillance video but ran away when the golf course owner approached him. The suspect is described as being in his mid-20s with short dark hair. If you have any information, please contact Medicine Hat Police or Crime Stoppers. An Alberta MP will be speaking about his private member's bill in Lethbridge tonight. Brian Storthes is in the city with his wife to talk about Bill C-304, which intends to repeal Section of 13 of the Canadian Human Rights Act. The MP for Westlock St. Paul says the prevention of the distribution of hate messages is addressed in the Criminal Code of Canada and shouldn't be included in the Human Rights Act. Debate on the proposed legislation began back in November of 2011 and is currently before the Senate. Storthes says there's work to be done in our province as well.
Here in Alberta, we still have Section 3 that does many of the same things that Section 13 did at the Canadian human rights level, and making sure that people voice their opinion to say, hey, we need Premier Redford to keep her commitment to repeal it, and we need Danielle Smith to support that.
Storthes will be speaking about the bill at the Lethbridge Public Library tonight at 7 o'clock. Monsanto Canada hosted farmers and retail customers as it officially opened its next canola seed processing plant east of Lethbridge. The company invested nearly $15 million into expansion and upgrading of its existing seed manufacturing operation in Lethbridge. The project included the installation of seed cleaning equipment, the automation of bulk storage and blending equipment. The Lethbridge facility handles Monsanto's canola hybrid seed for all of North America. Canadian farmers have planted a record 21 million acres of canola this summer.
The acreage has expanded significantly, and that's largely driven by the demand for the product. It's a very heart-healthy oil. Consumers are looking for a high-quality oil product. It's used in salad dressings, a lot of processed foods, and really canola has taken over from wheat as Western Canadians' key crop.
Monsanto's canola seed processing plant has 11 full-time employees, 4 contract employees, and then it also hires additional field staff during the summer. A Lethbridge company that connects local producers with buyers cooked up a way to give Alberta and BC chefs a taste of the goods. Mike LeBlanc has more on this week's Farm TV.
For the past 8 years, Rudy Kneedle of Gallamax Incorporated has been organizing farm tours for his customers, chefs from the finest restaurants in Calgary, Canmore, Banff, and Lake Louise. This year was a little different.
This year we don't go from one farm to the other because there was some concerns from both for the hotel and restaurant people and the producers. They didn't have enough time to talk to anybody. So this year we decided we're going to have a place where people can relax, talk to each other and ask anything they want about the crops these people are growing.
Produce is harvested fresh and delivered to the restaurants the next day. That's a big benefit for the producers.
It gave us that bit of confidence that we didn't have, that we have a market in Calgary that is readily served by Gallamax.
The relationships between these producers and the chefs is a unique partnership.
The producers have been great. Actually, this year I was honored to go and sit down with them, and they wanted my input as far as what kind of products I'd like to see, give them some feedback. Everyone's got this same mentality to keep the quality as high as it can go, and really respect for the animals, respect for the product that they're doing, and the product that comes out is the best you can ever do after that.
Farm TV is brought to you by DA Building Systems.
And the markets today, where it was the 4th day of down numbers, by and large due to slower than expected U.S. economic gains.